Shalom and welcome to another in our series of podcasts from Temple Beth Am, a dynamic center for conservative Judaism in Los Angeles. This is Meditation and Mindfulness with Rabbi Adam Kligfeld.
Morning to those who are here in my office in Los Angeles. Hello to those who are joining live on Zoom or via Facebook. Hello to anyone who's listening to this asynchronously in the Temple Beth Am podcast. It's Friday morning, an opportunity to harness our first human act and our most autonomous human act of breathing into a place of intentionality and focus, kind of retraining our brain to, at some level, be contemplating everything and nothing at the same time. A little idea that I want to tease out that can serve as an anchor to this meditation comes from the language of the prayer that is often said immediately after lighting candles on Hanukkah, holiday which we just finished yesterday, but figuratively and literally the glow can continue. And many of you are familiar with the liturgy, which has a halachic foundation, but I really believe the system of Jewish law is almost always governing how we do a certain act and also inculcating us in a certain set of values. And the line in the Hanero Talalu paragraph is, Ein lanu reshut lehishtamesh behem. We have no permission to use them, the them meaning what? The Hanukkah candles. Ella lirotam bilvad. Rather, we just look at them. In contradistinction to the Shabbat candles, which you light in order to use. The Shabbat candles are supposed to be, particularly in an ancient world, the light by which you have Shabbat. They're very significant so that you can see each other's faces on Shabbat. Hanukkah candles are not for illumination. They are for pirsuma nisa. They are for publicizing the miracle of our victory over the Assyrian Greeks. And that is why, and I've shared this many times, even though I grew up in a house where it was very dramatic, where you had all the lights off and you light Hanukkah candles because it made the room seem more interesting, according to Jewish law, you're not supposed to have all the lights off. You're supposed to have at least one light on, or use the light of the shamash so that you can make the argument that you're not using the Hanukkah lights, you're just reveling in them. That's the law. But what's the concept? The concept for me, at least right now, is to train the very utilitarian minds that we have that are almost always, and sometimes unwittingly, looking for what we can extract from a thing or from a person or from a situation. How do we train ourselves to step back and say, we have no right to use this. We have no right to exploit this moment, this person, this situation. Ela lirotam bilvad. Sometimes our task is simply to look, to gaze, to stare. Those of us who have children, you may have experienced many moments in your life where something happens in the middle of an interaction with a child, where you realize that with good instincts, but not necessarily to good effect, you were a little bit too focused on molding them, instructing them, wishing they were something else, seeing what you could draw from this interaction with them as a parent, and then that flips over to just beholding them, just seeing your child for the wonder that he or she is. That's a radical transformation when it happens as a parent. And maybe this law regarding the Hanukkah candles is supposed to be training us to see more things like that, not for what we can extract from it, but just the wonder of looking. So with that in mind, if you haven't already, I invite you to close your eyes. Start inhabiting your body with intent rather than by accident. Feel your spirit, whatever that means to you, your inanimateness. Spreading through your body. So that in your finger, it's not just your finger, but it's some essential part of you. And as your chest goes up and down in breath, it's not just oxygen, it's you. As you hold your position with your feet flat on the ground, and your hands on your legs, it's not just geometry. It is you. And we aim in this moment for poised rest. In this moment, you are very focused, very awake, very alert, very alive, and very tranquil, very much at peace, very bathed in wellness. As you breathe in, feel your central nervous system calming down, as if the breath itself transports you to a different way of being. If you want, you can do a style of breathing where you breathe in for a few seconds, you hold the breath for a few seconds, and you breathe out for a few seconds. So that each breath from beginning to the end may be more like 10 seconds than 2. Slowing your breaths per minute, regulating your heart, anchoring yourself in this moment. Let's breathe in some enhanced, intentional way for a few moments before we come back to the idea. And as your mind wanders, and it will, don't tisk. Don't be disappointed. Just come back to your breathing. Like you can hear your mind's own voice say to you, I know that I am breathing in. I know that I am breathing out. I know that I am breathing in. I know that I am breathing out. Reshut V'hishtamesh behem. We have no permission to use them. Ella lerotam bilvad. Rather, we have permission just to look at them. What pops up in your mind as being for you personally the most resonant object or person, moment that's relevant to this guidance? Beyond a Hanukkah candle, what or whom are you tempted to try to use or overuse, or mildly exploit, or squeeze? What would it be like just to look? Just to gaze. Possible that frenzy over what you would gain would be replaced by wonder and awe. Ein lanu reshut leishtamesh behem. We have no right to use them. Ella lerotam bilvad. Just to look upon them, just to watch, to take in, to behold, to fully see. Lanu reshut leishtamesh behem. We have no right to claim it as ours. Ella lerotam bilvad. Just let the moment or the person be seen, and have that be enough. Ready? And maybe even if you're not ready, come up from the surface. And we'll share the closing meditation prayer, which we'll say 3 times as a way of closing this moment that we in some way shared, so that we had entirely different experiences of. May we in all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May we all be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. May we all experience true happiness that has no taint of suffering. May we live in great equanimity, free from burdening attachment to loved ones and contempt for others, but rather with compassion for all. May we in all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May we all be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. May we all experience true happiness that has no taint of suffering. May we live in great equanimity, free from burdening attachment to loved ones and contempt for others, rather with compassion for all. May we in all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May we all be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. May we all experience true happiness that has no taint of suffering. May we live in great equanimity, free from burdening attachment to loved ones and contempt for others, but rather with compassion for all. I say to all of you, Shalom, Namaste, Shabbat Shalom. See you all soon.
You have been listening to another in our series of podcasts from Temple Beth Am, a dynamic center for conservative Judaism in Los Angeles. If you enjoy these podcasts, we invite you to write a review on the Apple Podcast site or wherever you get your podcasts. For more information about Temple Beth Am Los Angeles, go to tbala.org.